Hello, welcome to another thing. It put my little window over there, not sure why. I guess that's like over here somewhere. Hello, welcome to another little video. I'm glad I just got in with my raincoat. Just got rained in. Cool. So I'm going to continue on with the build your own shell adventure on Codecrafters.io. Not sponsored at all. Just it's a cool little website. I've even signed up. It was one of those things I got like a month long sign up because I'm like, I'll see if I still like it after a month. Then my like dark theme went away, and that's all I really want it for. Nah, there's like other stuff in here. So, continuing on with the completions, and I think I had a look at this, and it was quite easy. 5 to 10 minutes, easy. Gosh, how long did it say I should do that one? Oh, what? No, you have to do that. It's medium. Oh, it doesn't even say what a medium is. There we go. 30 minutes to an hour. I think that was roughly what I did. And I got this one for free because I just kind of thought ahead. And this one is going to be extremely easy. So I believe okay, so yeah, basically they will put in something random and then push tab, and this will crash in our thing. So if we go your program and I don't know XYZ and push tab, it will do a little crash for us, and that's good. So we can go to 281 and 281 and completion with no options. So I think in this case, I just want to return false, and it might be as simple as that. So if it does not do this, well, perhaps I want to do printf and do a little bell character. Let me get that. Is that the bell? Let me do it with. It just moved from the other keyboard, yeah. So that's the bell. You can see it kind of flashing, and if we do like a few, it will only do one. I suppose like if we do a bunch of stuff in between, it kind of did a little double flash. Yeah, so I think perhaps doing a bell in that case, because it's kind of what Bash does, and it swallows the input, which I think this do completion will kind of do. Has it already swallowed it? Yeah, so it swallowed it, the first thing. And so this is only for the like kind of the command completion, but yeah, cool. So I think, well, we'll run it again. So we have your program. I just realized this might be a wee bit small for some of the views. Right, so if we go here and we go tab, it will do that. And it still did something, so 352. We hadn't really anticipated getting out of that do completion. So now we've got to a case where we haven't been able to complete, and perhaps this is where we should do the bell, and in here we don't do any printing. It kind of makes sense. That is playing, it's just like really quiet. It's not playing for you, but it helps me concentrate somewhat. Cool, so now if we did this, we should just get not quite what I wanted. So the tabs are still kind of coming through, but in Bash, you just get that. Now, wonder what is happening. So that has done a thing, and then the next time it's right. So we swallowed up the input. That I should put a macro around that, so it's a bit more clear. And then we break out of this. Can you like? I don't think you can tell me where you're breaking from, but we're breaking from the switch, and it's not an error. It's not really an error. And if we're not in error and we're not in the F, we should be getting the next standard character. And if it's not a tab, then we have a dirty complete, but that's another thing. But perhaps that's the thing that I'm kind of looking at. So in tab, do we look at dirty complete? We do. So dirty complete kind of just resets the match.index, which I think so far we don't really use. That's just forward thinking. But perhaps this should do a little check here. If match dot so what am I thinking? This match.match is pointing to just the match that we have kind of completed to, and so the completion just has a match and an index. So it's kind of the current match that it is, and we haven't implemented this option. So I think if in here we have match.idx is not equal to -1, we do something. Perhaps if we do something like this and else, and perhaps chuck a little guard there, he can kind of sit here, and this is multiple completions. So I'm still, yeah, I'm just wondering why it's kind of going to that. So I guess perhaps I need to do some debugging. So we can run this debug. 1 second though, caller. Is that all? I just got that. Perfect. No, that's fine. Cool. So, what are we doing here? I kind of want to do a break. Perhaps we can break it line 301, I guess. And so that's kind of breaking at this point here. So this should be like kind of, it has looked at a character. I mean, it's kind of annoying because to start with we will have like a bunch, but if we did this and do X, it'll get a thing here. But now if we do continue and maybe do the X, Y, Z and continue and do a tab. So now we're in the first tab case. Perhaps I'll go into this view, and so I guess what is peak char? So what does standard buffer kind of look like at the moment? Peak. I mean, it is there, right? Right. So what does buff show? Yeah, like sometimes GDB is interesting. So the buffer currently has a tab character in, so this picture should return that the offset is 0 and the buffer starts with a tab. So I'm pretty happy with that. So it's kind of interesting. So this was, yeah, I don't know why it's doing like there was kind of no need to do a poll. Interesting. Right, so this should return us a tab. So doesn't do a dirty complete, but dirty complete defaulted to true, so I would imagine dirty complete is true currently. So if we switch on this, so yeah, it's kind of interesting that it polls. There's like no real need to do a poll. I guess this is just seeing if it can fill up the buffers more. Alright. But like we can currently read from it. So this is saying there's no more data. So yeah, it's maybe cheap. I don't know. So this should return us a tab. That kind of makes sense. So we're in here, and so at this point here, if we look at stdin buff, I don't know if it will let me this time. Cool. Our offset is now 1. So next time round, it should return 0 or read another thing, but perhaps our read is wrong. So we should get there are kind of no matches. Easy. So if we do the completion, we get this false, and then we print our bell. We had a bell that went off, and if not error, we're reading the char. I think this potentially is where is the issue. We kind of want to just continue. So I wonder if at this point here we just go continue. Because what I kind of think is this is now going to kind of do the poll and whatnot. So now it's kind of waiting for data, and then when we do that, I've done a tab. The tab weirdly came through. Right, so at this point here we have data to read. So here we will check the buffer at the moment. So the buffer has the buffer in essence is used up, so it can be kind of reset. So that's what we'll do, and then we'll read into the buffer. And so now it looks the same, but offset has gone down to 0, and the buffer has just read in another tab. Now, importantly, that tab will in this method get printed out right here. So we'll print out that tab. But with the change that I have made and have written, so done. Easy. So we can kind of add that up. So yep, and what's this doing? I thought I removed that, but perhaps I didn't. So this is doing that, and perhaps we'll commit. I think this my shell didn't really like having an editor spawn up. Yeah, so Vim thinks it's well, it's not a terminal. It opened up though. Right, so I'm in insert mode. I don't know. See, now I'm like kind of stuck in a weird place. I can do that and perhaps do that. So there's some issues with my shell. The problem is like it doesn't spawn a sudo terminal. It just kind of it does a thing. But anyhow, this was handle tab completion when no completions of built-ins, because we're still kind of only doing that. And what has happened there? That just did a weird thing, but nah, that's cool. So if we, oh golly, I haven't had an eyebrow one in a while. Nerves. Oh, I have a nerve condition in my face, and it sometimes goes like that, I guess. I have to note that one down. Anyhow, where was I? I was just kind of seeing this. This, I think, will just give me a green tick, probably before we see anything over here, but I think that kind of passed it, and perhaps it will even pass a few more. It won't. Cool. We can pass that, and this will just continue going on, testing all the other things. But this one we haven't got yet. There's a few other completions that it looks like they don't really like multiple completions. Yeah, we've kind of got we've got the framework for that partial completion, but it looks like they're kind of skipping the username completion. So like when you if we open up a new terminal, if I kind of look at this and type H and then tab, it will kind of look at the things where they got HP lip, but it will kind of show me the options. And I guess HP lip doesn't have a folder, like the home folder is like either non-accessible to me or yeah, it just doesn't exist. It's kind of interesting. And I mean, you can use that to kind of see all your users. Perhaps I don't need to do that, but yeah. So test passed. So I can push that to origin, and now I want to do this. Well, I might skip this and go to the other completions, which I was just talking about, which was something like that. So 617, and is that like all of them? Yeah, so this will happen in any of the arguments, which will be kind of a good win. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Anyhow, completion of all users. So what do we need to do? I kind of want to maybe see where we were. Did I have it here? No, I didn't have a mark set for it. But we have do completion, and we do some stuff here. So what we need to do is we need to have a string array. I think I might just kind of build a new scope for this. It basically means if I declare things inside of this, it doesn't interfere with any of the things outside of this. Like I could have a username, for example, and it won't overwrite that. Right, so we get the matches, and then we we want to get a list of all the users. So how we've got the users so far, and I wonder if I need to do something like this. We don't really have a notion of dirty. So this dirty complete is just before the while loop. Dirty complete, and we'll just have that same kind of notion in here. And if dirty complete, perhaps this needs to do this not equal to do something there. If that is not equal to tab, then we want to do dirty complete equals true. Right, so in this dirty complete, we want to do matches dot idx equal -1, and so that probably means we want to we have like a completion option here. So we call it match, and so that completion thing is here. So completion match, and we'll zero initialize it. Cool. Right. So what next? So after and like so this dirty matches. So if I have, for example, this, I can kind of cycle through them. So I guess the first match would be the HP lip, and then the second match would be the hue. But you can kind of cycle through them, which, yeah, that is, yeah, cool. Oh, I didn't really want to close that. It was my shell. It wasn't actually my shell running, but anyhow, I do kind of want to have a terminal up, and I think I'll close this area. And so in here we have some way of like getting, let's get PWN. By golly, I just had a realization that we may have to kind of just get all the users. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. Let me remind myself. So get PWN. So you have a little structure password thing. What is it? Structure broken up fields. The first title is the first entry. So we kind of have to kind of do that. The set PWN rewinds it, end closes it. I wonder if we do actually need to kind of run both of them. open. It's unsafe. Ooh, unsafe. Right, right. It's kind of interesting. I actually have a thought now. So we'll have a show, and at the moment, Foo isn't a user, but maybe I'll add a Foo bar and or cool, and yeah. So my theory is that. No, I don't know. I guess it loads up. It has to read all the users. I'm trying to like optimize not doing it, but I guess the gist is that we really just need to kind of get all the users into a thing, and because we're doing completions, we may as well kind of just do that. So before it would have stopped when it found a user that kind of match, but here it won't. So we have like a string array, yeah, and we can kind of zero initialize that, and so here we're kind of just getting all the users. So we could probably just get rid of matches, and we're going to do complete thing somewhere there. There, do that. So you do matches, and you just yeah. I think that's kind of fine, and you'll be doing on users, and I guess a thing to that, and then a thing to that, and if that, then we do a thing, and I guess if match.idx not equal to -1, then we'll do a thing. Multiple completions. Otherwise, it's just a kind of normal one, except I guess this is a single completion. I just don't know what to do with it at this point. I guess we just need to set username to be what we've got out of there. And if we don't do a completion, then I guess we'll do a printf aim. And because we don't really have a goto set up, which potentially we will end up having a goto to like go here or something. But for now, we will just do this. Right, so here we can just do like array add password pw name. I think that's all we really need to do at that point there. Yeah, and like that's not really doing anything with memory. So at this point here, we can change this loop to size t equals 0, less than users dot size and I plus, and inside here we're going to have alright, so we'll get the len, and so that's going to be users.data just get this and do users.data I. If that is the case, and do strin all the way up, then we're doing a thing. And we probably need to put this somewhere, like after this. And then here we do this, and like so this we want to str dupe the users.data I, and I need to do something like this, and then go to so that's in just that loop. We can probably free it at that point, to be honest. But yeah, we kind of need to free it up, like after we do that red. We can probably just do that. And here, what do we have? What do we have? So this. Yeah, I guess we might just have two different things. So maybe we'll just have homes dot data I, something like that. And bear with me, homes will exist soon, and I'll want to do array free homes, and also users, and this can go down here and also up here. It's one reason why having just a that, when does that get marked? Up there? No. This could. Golly, C is just so unsafe. So unsafe. Right, so here we also want to have a homes. Where are we? So here we can have homes, and what was it? It was PW and so that will get that homes.data I gets that. So of course this will need a bit of testing just to make sure that all looks good. Cool. And username never got freed in these kind of early paths. Or did it? Nope. So what we can do is just free username as well. Otherwise we just have lots of floating memory that kind of sits around. So if I cd to that one, source personal, and that one, we run my Cool. And so now if we go like that, completion with many options. Now that's because we had an HP lip as well. But what I'll do is ignore that for now and ignore the fact that I did a typo. If I do HU, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, so matches, I think when we do this completion, we do actually need to have a matches. It's similar to this. So when we're doing it on users, yeah, so instead of users, we do actually need to do this and undo one of those and find you and do matches. Something like that. And so here we are just doing users. Users, and this can just be something like that. And yeah, actually I might do user name and do something like that. And users data, and this can be user name and do something like that there and there. And we don't have homes anymore. And in homes we have users.data.home. So we'll have a username and home. Users.data.home. Won't have a homes. Won't have a homes. So in here won't have a homes, and so this won't be. It'll be like an array of a different structure. I wish C could let me just kind of. I think it could actually. So if we have a struct, what do we want? So this struct is going to have username and home, and we'll call that users. And so now we can have something like this. And see what things don't like. So yeah, we're not allowed to do that. But if we can we do like an inline thing? Struct. So get me that and just put it there. Things. So if we get this and we'll just call it a password. We can add to it if needed at some point. Right, so 597. Because we needed to see this is char, and that's also a char. Right, so it doesn't like that because that needs to be that, and that needs to be that. Right, so now this needs to be like just there. Something like that, and then 537. It's already defined. It is already defined. Password entry, and so password struct password entry, something like that. Redeclaration of users, because we've got it there. Right, so array add has that, but if we do it somehow, somewhere. We can probably search for array add dot star and like that. Or do we not do it? How? Or we do that. Is it another? Yeah. So this command, if we take media, so that kind of does a whole thing, and I think that means we need to have something like dot username equals this, and equals that, and I don't know, you can just kind of go there. Is that acceptable? Nah, that's still not good. So do we really need to just kind of define a thing for this? Password entry, so here, I don't know, we can just do something like that, and do something like that. Except I don't really want to do that. Do something like that. Username, and that's going to be user, and we can just do something like home equals dir. Is this what I want? And then we have a type def of this being a password entry, and we can maybe we can just call it password T. I don't know. And this can be struct password T, and then this can be password of that, and that, no, and then kind of compare it with that, and then is that what I do? It still doesn't like this. 603 expected that. So we got that. Take me to that. Take me to this. We were calling this a password T bunny. Cool. 634. I should really be doing this just like this. So ret is undeclared. So this is what do we have so far? User name dot data. So if these are the same, and so I guess that would be that. Then we kind of add those matches, and then we do a completion on the usernames that actually kind of match. So now if I do echo h, that's kind of a weird thing. Echo h and then a tab. No, if I do it in my program, echo. Yeah, it's just doing a segfault there. Right, so debug. And if I go echo h, 605, what are we doing? 605. We're adding users, and we're right. So 605 is where it is allocated, and then we are actually overflowing in 605 as well. Oh, right, that's kind of odd. So what I might do is password t equals that thing, and then we can just call that pass, I guess, and do something like that. I just realized I can't see the time with that exactly there. Cool. So if that is that, what happens if we run that again? It still seems to be segfolding. I kind of want to print out. Well, I guess I can do a debug here, and if we run that echo h, and so that is 606, and it was, so it's done in this. Are we redefining users somehow? Yeah, I kind of want to, yeah, maybe do a little break at main.c60, what was it, 605 would probably be a decent one, and layout source, we can do that here, and if we do this, so h, that will do it, and cool, so now it should be reading all of the users. So maybe I'll do a display on pass. I think I can see what the issue is. The structure itself isn't really getting memory, or like, I don't know, maybe that isn't quite right. So that doesn't seem right. We want that. Cool. So I don't think that will fix it, but it'll fix something. Break. So that was at main 605. So if we run that, and we go, I don't know, echo h. Cool. So I'll get layout source and display pass just to see what we're kind of reading. So we have root and root, and I guess I want to do a display on users just to see kind of what happens. We make some space. Yeah, so passes already kind of changed just after we did the get PWM, because I think the pass PW structure is the memory there. It's like just a static memory. That's why it's not memory safe, thread safe, I guess. So I'm wondering if we look at users dot so I can't, I don't know. So if we get users.data, and do something like that, or that's just not what I wanted. Users data. Cool. So if we get this, this is literally the latest username. So like we're kind of just overriding it with the same information over and over. This tab completion is bizarre. Users data, so that is one, and yeah, you can see like this is like just a bit after it. And that would have been because before this would have been pointing to the right place, maybe. I don't know. I think that's just really gross. I'm thinking we actually have to make a literal copy of each of these things. Dupe, is it? Str dupe. Right, so now we have to free this, which is frustrating. So I'll see if this kind of crashes. It seemingly does. Cool. So we run that and echo do that H. So we should be and is that kind of making new? Yeah, that seemingly is generating new addresses. I mean, I've got like a bunch. So I just want to go to 608 and can you continue to there? Cool. And no, I want to be D break of 1 and then continue. Yeah, so it doesn't get all the way. We should be making like brand new strings of it. I don't understand. So one thing that I do kind of think is an issue is the fact that this is kind of in the current scope. Like I think I potentially need to create a point. It's kind of gross. can do this and yeah, take me to there, and this can be like a no, we kind of we want a malloc size of password t, I guess. Assert that pass not equal to null. Pass using there. I don't know if we're gonna do it this spelled out, then I think it would be better to do it this way. Equals that, and pass home equals that thing, and then we add to that. And I'll make a little define there, and yeah, yes, and yeah, with that defined there, what I want to do is do like a user free something like this, password array free, and this can take in the users, well, I can just take in the R, and what is it going to do? It's probably going to do a few things. So first of all, it's going to do size p I equals there, I is less than we have r dot size and r, and in here what do we have? I want to do just a free on pass user. Well, we have our data I and get the user out of it, and also get the home out of it. I think I need to do password free. And do something like this, and something like that. Maybe I'll call this and that's all that needs doing while the password is doing a thing. And perhaps this should go up close to this little thing, because that's kind of where we define it. In fact, we could probably even make this password free, and password d pass, do it and see. And then we don't need as many brackets and whatnot, and so back where we were here, we would just do that password free, and then we can just pass it our data plus I. No, like something like that. Nah, because it is mage. I don't need it. I'm not sure I need to do this. Because when we do this array add, we just do like an equals, which is what, copy by value in C, which should really copy all the fields of the thing. So I think I'm starting to wonder what I think. We'll do this, and I guess this is now just an array of pointers. It's a little gross. And so now every time we do an array free of users, we want to do password array free users. Something like that. So now what does that do? Has no that. It does have a username there. Right. What do we have here? Users data plus is a pointer. Do you mean to use this? Yes, I did. See, yeah, I did mean to use a pointer there. And did this? We put it in here, password free, and we can just do a free on our data I. So this is going to be. So it's still going to be a pointer to it. Yeah, that's still going to be a pointer to it. And so we'll just do that there instead. So what does this give me now? Yes, I did mean to use that. Now, can I do something like that? Invalid type of this, have structure anonymous. I think because we don't have like a pointer to the actual array, and yeah, we kind of just passing that. So this I'll have to go back to that. Cool. Right. So now that's kind of compiled again. Go back to this. And I'll see if this kind of runs. So echo tilde h. Nah, it seems like it's not. So if we run that and echo tilde h, we're still getting this Stack Overflow. And it's like, it's just not getting through all the users, which, I don't know. I'm just making all the memory for 621 and 621. Which surely is up here. Yeah, users. Yeah. Yep. kind of liking the idea of just having the string array, and yeah, we can get rid of that. So get rid of this, get rid of this. So just have two kind of arrays, like I kind of had before. Or maybe I'll just keep it like that, but maybe do that. That might be the thing. I wasn't zero initializing. So that was me just tab completing, but I wanted to do H. Yeah, so that kind of works. And if I do tab there, I still have too many. But if we run it now, HU single completion, and that's just because we didn't complete it there. Easy. Right, so at this point here, we maybe I'll just kind of bring up what I did the other time. We print off what we kind of had. So this has the things around the other kind of way. So maybe I'll also do that. No, like get that and do that. So we do that, and then we kind of want to just I think we just want to break, but we can't break, which is the reason why we had to go to end, which end is just after there. So we can probably go to tilde end, because this is like in the middle of a tilde type thing, and then we can probably do tilde end and do that, and we'll still have to kind of loop over all the users to find the user name that we just match with, which is a bit redundant. Perhaps it would be good to store like more information with the matches type thing. So at the moment we just have the username, but it could be good to store perhaps what index it kind of came from. I don't know. It's just to save like a couple of iterations of stuff. We don't have ret declared. So I think ret in here we just want to replace with username. That's what I can see other places, and I think that's potentially what we need to do. So now if we do HU and do that, and I got it somewhere else. 357. That's like back in just the normal thing. So it tab completed 1, but then I think it hasn't swallowed the. Can we go back to where we were? This was us. Yeah, it hasn't swallowed the input. So swallow the input and then do it. And now if we do HU tab, it will autocomplete my name and won't crash. So like we could perhaps run things like that. It's kind of, perhaps we don't want to do the space. Yeah, I think we don't want to do the space at this point, so search for space on that line. So if we kind of just do that, and if we run that now, HU, and it just tab completes to there, and at that point here, the secondary tab completion would probably kick in, because Bash puts in the slash, and if I do a different user, it does not, and it puts the space, which that's, by golly, that's kind of interesting. I wonder if I can recreate that behavior, like if. Yeah. If you have a folder, then if your home folder is accessible, then it will like kind of let you do that. So in Bash, if a user has folder completes to user slash. If not, then user space. Pardon me. Pardon me. Right, so if that is the case, I just wanted to check one momentary thing. Cool. Right, so if we do this, right, so that's just kind of one comment. I think I'll just do a fix me for that because it's not really part of the main thing. But I think that is really kind of having. We went away from that password free type thing. We still have. We just. Yeah, so we do kind of need that. I'm kind of interested. So if now that I've kind of staged this, if we kind of make this not not a pointer, so it will copy by value into the array, I believe. But I don't know. I don't actually want a space or anything there. I just want nothing. But I want a comma there, and then that sort of thing there. And so then this pass rate free, we wouldn't want that, and I will just use the compiler to kind of tell me about things that I've got wrong. That is because we don't have a thing there. And so this, we just need to do something like that, that, that. Let's see what the issue is there. So that is, perhaps we'll pass that by pointer. No, I wanted that one. And cool. And so that should, we won't add it just yet. And I'll just see. Yeah, so that does a segfault when we do that. So I think the reason for the segfault, if we kind of go back to this, yeah, this, no. If we go back to this, before when it was password t pass equals whatever it was. So the scope of the structure is like inside of this loop. So every time the loop runs, it'll be using the same memory as the structure. But I thought that was fine because I thought it's kind of adding by value. So like it's just kind of assigning by value. And I thought that would have done the trick, but I don't know. It potentially could be an issue with just the like weird get PWN and stuff like that. But I think this is kind of looking good. What I do want to do is if we do a cc equals that, we can kind of see if I've got any leaks. We have we'll do a reset there. So that was I typed in. So this is. Haven't been written, or I don't know. I thought this was. It's working fine with TCC, but with GCC, which does more ASAN stuff, it is heap overflowing straight away, which isn't really a good thing. But it's just bizarre that, right, so it kind of allocated a 256 byte reason. I feel like this is a bit not relevant because this is like quite a way after that region. Well, I don't know. That's kind of annoying. I kind of want to fix it so it will run consistently in GCC and whatever compiler you throw it at. Like if it was playing, it should kind of probably do the same. Yeah, so it's doing the same buffer overflow. So I think this needs some attention to memory, which potentially I kind of say this. It is at 621, so it's kind of like there. Fix me GCC and clang with ASAN will abort with buffer overflow. Interesting. And TCC just kind of works. Anyhow, it doesn't really matter for this particular thing, because what we want to do is go back to the other place we do completion up here. So if we get a completion yeah, it's a bit trickier. So I'm wondering when to get the information. I mean, I guess it's when we get the tab. So I guess it is here. So we need to like get all the executables. So like how we are getting stuff from here, but like, I mean, this is a bit more of a task, I think. So the steps I'd have to go through, basically get this env and get through all of the env, and then for each one, so split it on the colon, and for each one we need to then list the directory, which is reader, I think. So reader will kind of read a directory. So this is when we've opened a directory. So this is more like the higher level thing. And so we'd have to open the directory as a directory, or like as this dir thing. And like, can we like see how we can? No. How do we make this dir fd? Is that what we do? We open dir. I reckon that's probably what we do. And open dir. So the open dir, yeah. So this returns us a dir object, and all it takes is a name. So we have a name. Cool. So want something like this, bit gross, and like I don't know whether it should just get done here or in a function. I mean, I think the answer is it should get done in a little function. These are like, that if was just in a bad spot. Right, so if this is the case, so we'll get rid of that comment. So for each of the things in the path, we then want to the path name is just where we are in the path. We free the path name after that, but we kind of want to get a dir and open dir. So perhaps we don't actually need to do that, and we can just do something like path. Is that what we want? And so what we kind of, this p minus path, that's going to be the size of the path name it's trying to say, and so path is just the, starts off with being like everything, and then when we p kind of moves up when it's not a null, we find the next colon, or the end of string, or null. So yeah, at the end of that, p is going to be pretty much the next column. So I think golly, at this kind of point, I kind of need to get char was p equals p, and then p equals null it off. It just makes it easier to just do this open dir, because then it's null initialized, and then we can do something like was p, and then we don't need to do stuff like that. Don't need, well, the file path. So this is after we read dir. We haven't there. So we'll get a struct dir int. I don't know, something like that. pointed to the next directory entry in the directory stream pointed by this. It returns null on reaching the end, or if it has. So I guess the open dirt is this. Just it opens it and it's positioned at the first entry. So this read dir will just give us the pointer to that first directory, I guess. And then we have the D name. So and I guess this is this kind of returning us a what does it return? It returns a pointer. Yeah. So this is do something like that equals that not equal to no do all of this, something like that is kind of what I'm thinking. And so the file path is golly, we do kind of need the path name. Well, I suppose we kind of can do that little trick. And so this can just be path, and the arg is going to be dir d name. And if it is executable, then we can kind of add it to our matches. Array add matches and file path, something like that. And so this, we don't know it needs freeing, but this needs freeing. How do I want to say that? I mean, an easy answer is I can just make memory, like allocate more memory. I don't know, it's kind of gross. I'll then have to allocate enough memory to duplicate all of the built-ins. What I might do is we can just start at built-ins.size. So when we built-ins only exist, matches only exist in this whole thing. So if we do a thing, then before we do the go to end, I kind of want to for size ti equals built-ins.size. So we're going to start at the end of the built-ins, and then we're going to get the I is less than matches dot size. So if there are any commands, we'll loop through them, and in here we just want to free the matches dot data I, which will be it will be an allocated string, but before that it will not be. Built-in matches not allocated commands after it are. Can that just happen there? Because it's already happened. so we do this, and I think this potentially just does the trick. So we keep on reading directory for every path that we do. After we do it, we kind of go back to set P to be not P, and then it will kind of loop over, and if it was a colon, then it will get set back to a colon, and if we can read it and it's executable, then it is a match. So, by golly, so I kind of want to find dash is something that has just one thing. So what I'll do is try and complete dash. It completes dash. If I that's interesting. The bash was completing for me. Alright. So 3, 4, 9. We need this dir. So this is just in dir int. And types, I guess we already have types. Sys types. And dir int dot h 351 assignment from incompatible pointer type. We kind of call that entry, and this can be entry. I just realized we probably need to like close this. Man, open dir. Do you need like a closed dir? You have a closed dir. Sorry about that. It got a little small. So we can just close dir on the dir, which I assume just takes the pointer that we got given. Easy. Right, what doesn't it like about this? Extended that before that. There's another place I have this thing. Yeah, like this sort of thing. So I think it needs to be assigned before. So if we have a structure int tree, and it can just be that, and we can get rid of that and like replace that with that. Are you happy with that now? You're still not happy, right? So now this just needs to be something like that. Incompatible pointer type. This needs to be dir. In fact, if we do that, no, it was complaining about other things, but yeah. So if we do redir on there, gosh, it's been like a good decade since I've looked at this. We don't want to dereference it. Cool, so that looks like it is working. So if we do dash, not doing, we get a sig fault fun. So if we I don't know, what was that dash? We got a sig fault. Where did we get a sig fault and why? 357, and it was written in the same place. 357. It's in this. is that not? I feel like I'm hitting a point where my array add is like going over capacity. So I think that's my latest theory. So if we do debug and do like layout source, I can't see what I'm writing. If we do that, layout source, and we want to break. I mean, may as well just break app main 357, and it will crash at some point, but perhaps along the way we can that's not a match though. Right, so yeah, I think we need to do an strncmp. We have a bin len, which is going to be strlen of entry d name, and what do we strncmp? Just two strings in the end. So we want to compare, what do we want to compare? The ret.data, and we want to compare against entry d main, but we only want to do bin len of those. And if that not equal to 0, then just continue. It will hide a problem, because now it won't kind of do it. I think it won't. It will still endless loop. I don't know. Oh, fun. Cool. So that's like a pq shell target. Yeah, that one. Let's do a debug on that again. What layout do I want? Right, so break at main and 358. I didn't have the lip stuff here. And if we layout source that and run that, so we get to here, and if I do this, I push tab, and oh no, it's just busy looping. Right, so I guess that's frustrating. Yeah, and then GDB will kind of complain. That's all right. So I guess what I want to do is break on that one. Didn't really want to break on everything, but break app main 354, and if we run that, and so if we do that, we should be doing something here. And if we maybe display entry, display one, and if we display star entry, interesting that dname has like heaps more than it needs. Can we see what we're kind of looking at? So it's going to be looking at that. I just don't understand why it's displayed all of it. So if we undisplay that, so bin len, we have a length of 8. And what do we have currently for? We just have ret.data. So str in CMP. We have a string that's well below the n that we're doing, which I wonder if str in CMP does the trick. Right, so this has gone continue, I guess, and it is a different binary. Cool. So I guess I might just do printf found bin s, and we can just print out this bad boy, because I'm interested. So here, I think it's just doing the same folder over and over. Checking the do and perhaps like let's make it a bit nicer. Yeah, so it's just getting the same over and over. So how am I meant to do this redir again? So redir returns a pointer to the next directory entry. Returns null, returning. Well, no, the path isn't changing. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Yeah, checking dir. So the path is not changing. So after we get here, we should close dir. So I think I want to do something like that, but like maybe I want to do P++ to say it's like one after the thing, but I'm kind of weary. Something like this, because I think we're kind of pointing at the yeah, we're not really going through on the so my path is like lots, but we're kind of stuck on the colon. So I think we need to do a cheeky P++, but I'm concerned that while it's not equal to null and not equal to that, we increment it. So at some point P is null. So I think if it was P not equal to null, we want to do this. And I think this will work. It's different. So yeah, it's a segfault on like a small thing. So this is checking dir, and it's like quite a large thing. So I think after every iteration of this, we need to kind of reset what path is, because we're using path. So I think after we get this path now equal to P, but I suppose we can do something like that. No, we still kind of want that, and then we can just set path to P at the end. Cool, so what does this do? Das, and so it's definitely checking a lot more tools. I've got a few things in my path, but it's still getting a seg fault on the end when it's doing a read dir on, I don't know. It's interesting that 354. Well, 354 is just where we do the read dir. Huh. I don't know. Is this like just a phantom of nah, it does kind of crap out TCC. So maybe if we kind of get rid of some of the printing and we can kind of just print that. So it never actually finds the binary. Which I would have thought user bin would have it. And it does search user bin. Alright. So what is this full thing? It's file. It's kind of interesting that this has not done it. It's kind of hard to. Can we just do something like that? Yeah. One fix. So yeah, we don't want to check it against the bin length, we want to check it against the rect size. So if it's partially matching, so this should hopefully do it. If it's partially matching, it did find that binary, but it's still doing the seg fault, which is, I don't know, some unknown thing at the moment. But yeah, maybe we'll not do that and not do that. Cool, and then get back to maybe. So you compile with some other things. Unused variable. So we don't really need that. That's fine. And what is it? Segfault? It's trying to like read. It's trying to write to 0 when we're doing this read dir. I feel like that is just out of my control, but like this probably returns an error, which is in my control. Error. So if there are errors, well, really it just returns null on an error, and I feel just any error, if we can't open the directory, we can probably just go continue, which will skip over that. I think I more want to do something like that, because I still want to kind of run these steps, otherwise we'll just end this loop somewhere. I kind of want to do a reset, but not in my shell, because my shell doesn't really like the resets. but if we run this now and go thus, completion with many options. It's interesting that there's many options. I kind of want to see what the many options are. 292. So if error too many options for now got that many and this is match dot size, and then we can do it for size I should really do a snipper for loops and whatnot. I is less than match size I plus and then inside of there we can kind of print out what our match is, and that is our match, and so this is matches dot size, yeah, so matches dot size, and that is also matches dot size, and this is matches dot data. That should just print out the thing, and then it should still get the same thing. I just found it kind of odd that we had more than one. We did have more than one. That's kind of interesting problem to have. So there are two completions, but path is only going to take the one that's like the earliest in the path. So there's no real point searching for more in the path that have the same as an existing completion, an existing match, which it's kind of a little tricky. I just want to kind of see what I reckon. An hour to 30 minutes. Whew. I also did the username stuff as well. I just want to check a thing. Yeah, that's all good. I'm just wondering, there's a few ways to do it. I'm almost opting for the very naive, where we get a thing, we go through each of the things. So what variables don't I have? I haven't got I at the moment. So I equals 0 and I is less than matches dot size and I plus, and if any bool okay equals true, I guess, yeah. So if this is the case, so if the matches data and this thing are equal, and I'm happy to do that comparison without the n, because I've controlled the data, I guess. So if these are the same, then I want to in here I want to say okay equals false and break, and then here if not okay, continue. Can't continue out of here. You kind of can, but we'll do that. And now if I do thus, it will complete it also that. I'm not sure I want to complete it all the way to file path. I think I just want to do entry just needed it to check whether something was executable and readable. But we're freeing it up here, so we need a. Are we freeing it? We're freeing it somewhere. Yeah, we were freeing it here. So I think we don't need to do that. Though I feel like I probably do. So let's bring that back, and what do? We free file path, but I kind of want to do an str dupe on the name. I do kind of want to control that memory. We have some link bytes. Thus. Why do I have too many? This should be not okay at this point. If strcmp, so if this equals that, thus. Cool, and what are my leaks? I want to fix my leaks while I still have them. 371, 371. So we do this str dupe, but we never free it. Is that what it's saying? One is from a realloc, and one's from an str dupe. So this str dupe we apparently never free. So if we get to here, if we get to there, we should be freeing it. I don't think it is that. I think that will. I mean, that didn't really kind of show it everywhere, but I think it's not that. So it did the str dupe. Oh no, we got some freed memory that is not getting freed up. str dupe, we add it to matches, and the matches should be of length built-ins, because we add all of the built-ins, but only if it's that. I think this needs to be size t cmd start equals matches dot size. So that is the matches so far, and then here we want to do this be cmd start, and same down here. Thus, and we can run it, and that's like running it, and now we just have one allocation, and it's from the realloc. So here we're kind of saying 372. This matches is not getting freed. Well, the matches.data, so array free should be done on matches. And we didn't like abort though, did we? Nah, we just quit easy. So yes, I think we kind of want to do it here, right? So array free matches, and probably do that here as well. And thing. Cool, so I think this is a DOS, and we can do that, and seemingly no leaks. I think that's still the case. Completion, executable completion. Easy. Well, that was kind of fun. So I think I do that, and then this kind of does a thing. Or do we need to do that one? And yeah, I guess while the tests are running, that's it for me. I'm pretty pooped, and it's getting a little chilly and dark outside, and we've actually got visitors coming soon, so I should probably go and be of entertainment. But yeah, as you can see, kind of did it. Might have got one for free. No, we didn't. Multiple completions. That's going to be interesting because, like, what do? You like kind of take over the line above it to kind of print out what. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll come to that when I come to that. But yeah, no, this is kind of fun. Thank you for watching, and feel free to, I don't know, let me know what you think. I'll push it to my GitHub as well, and that's that. Well, for now, I'll see you, and have a great day.